Farrell, back to Johnson. Now back over to Farrell, left corner working against Watson. Bounce pass to Max Bielfeldt. Bielfeldt back to Farrell. Farrell driving inside from the paint. What a drive, but he can't get the shot to fall on Andrew White there with a huge defensive board for Nebraska. And they get the ball back down 3:20 to go first half, 30-28. Indiana with the lead. Watson at the top of the circle. Now dribbling to the right. Now trying to drive, but kick out to McVeigh. Wide open left wing for three. Got it. Jack McVeigh, supposed to be one of those three-ball weapons for Nebraska, and he sinks one there. And for McVeigh, that's his 14th three of the year. Gives Nebraska the 1-point lead, 31-30. On the other way, trying to answer was Nick Zisloft. Missed three ball, and then Max Bielfeldt tried for the rebound. But it is out of bounds on Indiana, and Nebraska gets the ball back.
McVeigh was freezing for about a month or so there. He didn't make a three anywhere between the Miami and Northwestern game, But he's finally back in a rhythm, makes one today, so he's back in a rhythm for the Huskers, and that's huge for him.
0 for 2 against Northwestern on Wednesday. Here's Watson in transition, moving from left to right. Watson with a deep two from about 8 feet away on the right side. No good. Offensive board, Shields. Kick out to Parker for three. Got it! Benny Parker, off of his career-high 17 points and a career-high 5 3-balls, makes his first of the day today. Huskers up 4, 34-30, 2.5 to go first half. Here's Yogi Farrell in the high post. Give to Nick Zisloft. Zisloft back to Farrell. Now to Johnson, left wing. Yogi Farrell sets a screen, and Johnson takes it. Then he gives it to Zisloft in the backcourt. Now Farrell holds it in the backcourt. 8 seconds to shoot on the shot clock. Ball's loose on the floor. Stolen by Benny Parker. Parker in transition to White. White for two. No good. And he draws a hard foul. Robert Johnson for Indiana's hand slams the floor, but it's a defensive foul on Robert Johnson. For Johnson, that's going to be his second personal, and Andrew White will go to the free throw line for the first time.
Nebraska taking advantage of Indiana's cold shooting. They're 0 of their last 5 from the field. Nebraska, meanwhile, taking advantage on a 6-0 run over the last minute and 3 seconds, and they're 4 of their last 5 from the field as Andrew White heads to the free throw line.
Andrew White, the lead scorer for Nebraska, 5th best scorer in the Big Ten. Pretty decent free throw shooter as well, hitting 79.6%. That's 15th best in the Big Ten, and he hits his first. It's still a 1-1. That was the 9th team foul for Indiana, so he sinks the front end. Huskers up 5. That ties their biggest lead. And back in for Indiana is OG Anunoby, who, as we saw coming off the bench, had a very effective stint here in the first half, playing a few minutes, and he already has 5 points. White's second free throw on the way, and he sinks it. That's the biggest lead for Nebraska, up 6, 36-30, 2:04 to go first half. Bringing the ball up is Troy Williams slowly across the timeline. Williams to Thomas Bryant, left corner. Then he gives it back to Williams. Williams works around the perimeter against Benny Parker. Give to OG Anunoby, right corner. Then back to Williams. Now to Yogi Farrell, who's in the backcourt. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Farrell still with the ball, working against Jacobson, top of the circle. Finds Thomas Bryant in the high post. And Watson was working against him. Not a good matchup there between the 6'10 Thomas Bryant and then the 6-foot Glenn Watson, about a 10-inch differential there, and Watson called him the defensive foul. And for Watson, that's his second personal, and shooting 2 will be the freshman center, Thomas Bryant, already with 8 points.
Terrific play there by Indiana. Nice pick and roll. Thomas Bryant sets on Glenn Watson. Watson has no choice but to go right with him as Jacobson takes over guarding Farrell, and Watson had to go with Thomas Bryant as he sinks the first free throw.
And that is the 10th team foul by Nebraska, so it is a double bonus from here on out. Jack McVeigh checks in for Glenn Watson. And Thomas Bryant, 66% free throw shooter, but he's shot 60 this year, 40 of 60. That's second most on the team. Sinks the first, second on the way, and he gets them both. 36-32, Huskers with a 4-point lead. So already in double digits is Thomas Bryant. He averages 11 is his game average. So pretty good start in the first half, as we expected. Buck and a half to go. Shields in transition for Nebraska. A deep 2 from the elbow right. No good. Nice defensive board by Anunoby. And that's the first rebound of the game for Anunoby. And a quick find from Yogi Farrell to Troy Williams in the blink of an eye. Farrell just brought it across the timeline and found Williams right by the baseline, wide open, and Williams jammed it home. 36-34 Husker lead. Here's Benny Parker in transition. Fearless drive. Nice shot, but he can't get it to fall. Rebound Indiana. Here's Troy Williams in transition. Williams to Farrell. Thought about a 3. Ball loose on the floor. He still has it. 1 minute to go. 22 seconds on the shot clock for Indiana as they kind of take their time here. Troy Williams with the ball, left wing. Give to Anunoby. Anunoby to Hartman. Hartman working against White on the left wing. then give to Troy Williams in the backcourt. 5 seconds to shoot. They got to hurry up. Williams tried to find Thomas Bryan on the inside. It's intercepted by Jack McVeigh to Parker. White thought about a three. Gives to McVeigh, top of the circle for three. Got it! Jack McVeigh, 2 3 balls. He hasn't made multiple threes since the first game of the year against Mississippi Valley State, where he sunk 4 of them. 32.1 seconds to go. Nebraska 39, Indiana 34, and Tom Crean thinks he needs to call a timeout. And Zach, every time it looked like Indiana was going to retake the lead there. It happened the first time when Nebraska had the 5-point lead. Indiana was able to storm right back on an 8-0 run, get the lead back, but instead, Jack McVeigh ice in his veins here early, getting that key 3-ball right before the half here.
Absolutely, and it's not just him, it's everybody. We've been waiting for this, a performance like this from the Huskers for the whole year. The distribution of scoring is terrific. White with 7, McVeigh 8, Jacobson 4, Shields 6, Benny Parker 4, Ty Webster 2, Glenn Watson 7. That is terrific scoring. It's not just Siobhan Shields and Andrew White III doing everything today for the Huskers. It's everybody, and it can be anybody who's scoring on any given play, and that's got to be a very scary thing for any defense.
13 on the game clock, 10 on the shot clock. In the backcourt is Yogi Farrell holding it, wanting to get that last second shot. Now Farrell driving top of the circle for a deep 2 against Benny Parker, and he buries it. 1 second to go. Benny Parker inbound from Andrew White. Heaves up a shot, but it's too late. Buzzer sounds, but a solid first half by Nebraska at home nonetheless. We are at halftime, and Nebraska leads the 11-3 Indiana Hoosiers by the score of 39-36. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, some halftime scores from around college basketball, and then myself and Zach will break down the numbers and the X's and O's from this game so far. Halftime at Pinnacle Bank Arena, Nebraska 39, Indiana 36. This is Nebraska men's basketball on 90.3 KRNU.